Hi there, welcome back to the Spice Pecans and Brown Rice Costing Basics. So we already costed out the whole butter, and I wanted to talk a little bit about these two sauces here and kind of show you what's going on with them. So what we have here is the Worcestershire sauce and the hot sauce. Now of the two sauces, the easier one to cost out is going to be this hot sauce right here. And the reason being is because it's simply to taste. Um, Really, it's just as it sounds. You just add hot sauce to you think is appropriate. Now, it's really hard to cost out just to taste. So a lot of times I'll tell students if you're in a restaurant, it's your own recipe and you're going to have other employees making it for you, you probably shouldn't put the taste in there. You should go ahead and just figure out how much hot sauce you want in the recipe and then put it down there. So even if it's like half a teaspoon, a full teaspoon, whatever. But say you have your recipe that has to taste. What I would do is simply don't worry about the as purchased cost. Don't worry about the revised quantity or the yield. Well, the yield's obvious. That's 100% for hot sauce. I would simply put down 5 cents. And this doesn't matter if it's hot sauce to taste, salt, pepper, whatever. I'll even do this for water if the recipe calls for that. Each one of those ingredients you could go thoroughly and cost it out, but if it says to taste, you're probably better off just charging a nickel. And a lot of times I'll just charge a nickel for all of the to taste things. Um, if you've got like 4 or 5 ingredients that are to taste, maybe charge 2 nickels. But for the most part, if you actually broke down and cost it out, it would cost about a nickel. So that one's pretty easy. So let's talk about the Worcestershire sauce a little bit. This one is not to taste now. It is specifically a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So we got to look that price up and find out how much it is. So when we look it up, you could go online, you can go to the grocery store, go to a purchasing form that's on, you can find on Moodle. I just found a price here for $29.10. So that's $29.10. And this is for 4-gallon jugs of Worcestershire sauce. So 4-gallon jugs. Basically that means I'm paying $29.10 for 4 gallons. The source that I'm finding says it's 4 1-gallon containers. I'm just going to put down the total and say 4 gallons. Done. Clearly not a unit price there. That's very much a bulk price. So when I want to do an APC unit price for this, I could take it all the way down to tablespoons if you'd like. I find it might be easier to just meet halfway with the sauce here. I'll take the cost down to per fluid ounce because that one's pretty straightforward. If you recall, each gallon has 128 fluid ounces. So for my APC unit price, all I'm going to do is take the 29.10 and I'm going to divide it by 128 fluid ounces. And that'll give me the cost per fluid ounce, which is very much a unit price. So when I do 29.10 divided by 128, that'll give me 0.2273 4375, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go ahead and just round it off at the 4th decimal place. So it's a little over 22 cents per fluid ounce. That's a unit price, and I'm going to put that right here. So it's going to be hang on, help if I wrote it on the right spot here. So that'd be 0.2273 per fluid ounce. And notice I'm not going to be lazy and say that it's just a let's say that right. That it's just a single ounce. I want to say a fluid ounce because this is a very specific quantity here. Worcestershire sauce kind of flows like water, so it's fairly similar, but it's not quite the same. So once I have that APC unit cost, I'm going to go through and talk about the revised quantity. And the whole idea of the revised quantity is making this unit here and this unit here match up. So I've got fluid ounces for the cost and I've got tablespoons for the quantity. Well, if you recall, it takes 2 tablespoons to make a fluid ounce. So all I'm going to do is I need to figure out for this 1 tablespoon, what is it in fluid ounces? Notice I'm using the APC as a reference, but I'm not doing anything with this number just yet. All I'm doing is I'm using it as a guide to convert the recipe into fluid ounces. And since it takes 2 tablespoons to make a fluid ounce, a single tablespoon would only be a half a fluid ounce. And again, Worcestershire sauce, we don't really need to worry about this part just yet, but it has 100% yield, meaning if I need half a fluid ounce, I'm going to buy half a fluid ounce. And just like I said with the butter on the previous video, I'm not going to literally go out and buy half a fluid ounce of Worcestershire sauce, because clearly I'm buying 4 gallons worth. I'm going to pull out half a fluid ounce and then use that money to recoup my loss. So for our final cost here, I'm going to take this 0.2273, and I'm going to multiply it by how much I need, 0.5. And that's going to give me 0.11365, so a little over 11 cents. Or if you'd rather, I can just go ahead and say that this is going to be 12 cents. I think most of you prefer to just go ahead and keep it in the hundreds, keep it like normal money, and just do the 12 cents. That's fine. But don't do it before this part. So like don't over here round up with the money. Keep this at about 4 decimal places, same with revised quantity, but then when you get to here, you're okay to go ahead and start rounding it up to the nearest dollar. Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not from this video or from the previous video, but when these gray sections in the costing form all have to do with money. I didn't write it here, but this guy here, this 48 cents, really should have the dollar sign here. And same with these 2 sauces. They should both have the dollar signs as well. And the reason I point that out is to help guide you through this costing form. If it's in gray, it should be money. If it's in white, it should be in quantities. And if you notice over here, you've got fluid ounces, pinches, teaspoons, tablespoons, ounces, pounds, pints, counts. And over here, we had ounces and ounces, or fluid ounces, I'm sorry. And over here, fluid ounces and ounces. It's the same for everything that's in white is going to be a quantity. Everything in gray is going to be a dollar amount. So use that to help guide you as you go through these costing forms. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.